to sing There Is More Love Somewhere. 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 I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love. There is more hope. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope. There is more light. There is more light somewhere. There is more light somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more light somewhere. More hope. There's more hope. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep. There is more love. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere.
Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh. It is July 2nd, 2023. I am Stephanie Pulowski, commissioned lay minister with this church. I'm in my mid-40s. I have curly brownish gray hair. I wear glasses. I have a flowered dress and a bright blue shirt. I use she, her pronouns. With me today is guest minister, our dear friend, and frequent guest, Reverend Derek Tynes. Thank you for being here with us today. Woo-hoo. Our minister, Reverend Kate Walker, is off the month of July. If you missed the sign when walking in or watching on YouTube, our lights are malfunctioning, or we have a poltergeist, yet to be determined what the cause. So they are going on and off, and there is nothing we can do about it. So be patient with us. We are so glad you have chosen to be with us this morning. We are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcome. We are working for justice wherever the heavy weight of oppression has dug into the fabric of life. I have with me today volunteers and staff, all working to bring this worship to you. On behalf of our entire team, thank you for being with us. If this is your first time with us, we would love to be in touch with you. If you have not already done so, please go to our welcome desk in the atrium, or if you're on YouTube, visit our website, just Google First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh, and sign up for our weekly newsletter found on the bottom of the page. You are also invited to join us for social time on Zoom following this worship. To get a Zoom link, please send an email to firstunitarianpittsburgh@gmail.com. I invite you to take a deep breath, arrive in body and spirit, and picture yourself connected to all others who are watching today or in the future. We turn now to our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. If you have a chalice at home, we invite you to light it at this time. We light this chalice in the name of love and of our beloved community. Last week was the UUA General Assembly, and it was held here in Pittsburgh. One of the issues addressed at General Assembly was a vote on Article 2. Article 2 of the Unitarian Universalist Association Bylaws, Principles, and Purposes is the foundation for all the work of our UUA and its member congregations and covenanted communities. It is the covenant to which all our congregations and covenanted communities pledge themselves when they become members of our UUA. This is also where our current principles are found. Following the UUA General Assembly, these will be changing. The Article 2 Study Commission published the following. We assert that our deepest common theological grounding and value is this: love. We find it peeking through the words of the currently existing principles. We see it in our insistence on the worth and dignity of every person, and the calls by some that this insistence needs to extend to other beings as well. We see it in the call for demanding and embodying justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. We hear it in our urging of acceptance of one another and our support for each person's spiritual growth. We discern an accountable love in our call for a responsible search for truth and meaning. Our affirmation of the right of conscience and the right of every individual to participate in shaping those institutions that govern them displays a deep respect and love for every person. We hold up the goal of a peaceful, free, and just world community as an expression of what love can and should bring into being. And we believe that our call to respect the interdependent web that we are a part of is an articulation of love for all that is and our own place and role in that web. We see love called out as what demands that we be active in our justice work. We note that our hymnals contain many assertions of what we aspire to and what love can do and be. Let's build a home where love can dwell. Love will guide us, and we are answering the call of love among them. We respond to the call of love because it is our common theological core. It is what can and does motivate us and illuminates the deepest commitments to each other. May this flame burn bright in your heart and mind as we worship together. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn, hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit.
Witness
be seated. So, do you know when you have a lot of things going on at the same time and you're trying to get a little bit of everything done, sometimes you make mistakes? Well, I was looking for a time for all ages earlier this week about purpose, since I was also talking about Article 2 and our purpose as UUAs. And I think I did the wrong thing, because my story is actually about Amira's porpoise. So we're just going to go with it and see what happens. So the story's about a porpoise, and as you know, a porpoise is a sea mammal in the dolphin family. Porpoises are smaller and shyer than dolphins, and that makes them more difficult to find, but porpoises are very important. So there once was a girl named Amira, and all she wanted for her birthday was a porpoise of her very own. She wished and hoped and demanded and dreamed of a porpoise. She asked her parents and her grandparents. She told all her friends at school that she was getting a porpoise for her birthday. But her birthday came and went, and Amira did not get a porpoise. She was disappointed, and she wanted answers. So she asked her parents, and they said, "Oh, Amira, we couldn't get you a porpoise. That's something you need to seek out for yourself." Amira looked at her parents kind of funny and said, "You know I said porpoise, right? Like the sea mammal that's smaller than a dolphin?" And her parents looked at each other and said, "Oops, well, you can't have a wild animal for your birthday anyway." She asked her grandparents, and they said, "Oh, Amira, we can't get you a porpoise. You'll have to figure out your own purpose when you're older, and sometimes even adults don't know their own purpose." At this point, Amira was getting a little annoyed. "I said porpoise, the sea mammal, like a small dolphin." Her grandparents said, "Oh, sorry, we misheard you, dear, but we wouldn't have bought you a porpoise. They belong in the wild." Amira was fuming. Why had no one understood that she wanted a porpoise? And now that she thought about it, why were all the adults unwilling to give her a purpose either? What was a purpose anyway? So Amira set about finding a purpose instead. Over the next several years, she asked a lot of adults that she knew and trusted. Some of the adults said, "I don't know, that's really hard to explain." But some of the adults gave her some good advice about how to pay attention to the things you care about and how you can use those to make a difference in the world. You may not have a clear idea about it yet, and your purpose will certainly change over time. But if you think about the things you value and how you can use those things for good, you'll be on the right track. So Amira thought about the things that she valued and cared about, things like animals and the habitats they lived in. She thought about the things she liked to do, things like learning new things and teaching those things to younger children. She thought about her heroes, people who were living their lives in ways she wanted to copy. And she thought about what was possible, the ways she could change the world when she was older. And eventually, after some time and work, Amira came up with her purpose. And the funny thing is that Amira's purpose didn't stray her too far away from porpoises. She decided her purpose was to be a caring advocate for the earth and teach others about conservation. And that's just what she did. There is no RE this summer, so we will just sing for children that are here and for the children in all of us, "This Little Light of Mine." Every month, we share our generosity with a designated organization. This month, it is Planned Parenthood. All donations are shared 50-50 with this organization unless otherwise designated. Our religious community is made up of volunteers and staff, creating and hosting a variety of programming. We rely on your financial support. In addition to the collection plate, you can donate by texting GIVE to 412-435-1050 and following the instructions. Please also check at the end of the order of service for more directions. We hold each other in our hearts and minds with all our joys and all our sorrows. We remember those who are experiencing losses of various kinds and those facing health challenges. We are aware that many are faced with heightened difficulties presented by these times that continue to be challenging for us all. May those who suffer or mourn find peace. May those who hunger or thirst be quenched with nourishment and sated with the elixir of life. May those who have experienced violence find care and comfort and the healing that comes in time. May all of us find the loving kindness that is ours to share. May we open our hearts and minds to encircle with love and care in all our communities and beyond. You are invited into a few moments of silence, personal meditation, and prayer.
For our prayer this morning, I want to read some words from Albert Camus. In the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love. In the midst of tears, I find there is within me an invincible smile. In the midst of chaos, I found there is within me an invincible calm. I realize that through it all, in the midst of winters, I find within me an invincible summer. I am happy. I am loved. No matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me there is something stronger, something better, pushing me right back. Ashe.
Please join in singing hymn number 155, Circle Round for Freedom. And since I have no hymn leaders with me this morning, I'm trying to do two things at once. If you know a harmony, please feel free to sing it. And if you just want to sing in unison, that's okay too. Circle round, circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us in prison, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us in prison. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep a circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us in prison. Circle round. Circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep a circle.
So good morning. This mic is live. And so I want to welcome you to the first Unitarian disco. And so at any point of the sermon or in the service, get up and dance and do what makes you happy. Amen. God bless you. I want to celebrate you, Stephanie. I saw you walk across the stage at the Living Traditions. Was that not you? Stephanie. Yeah, that was who it was. That's right. Y'all look alike, you know. Y'all look alike. But I want to celebrate the last week's convening of UU World in Pittsburgh. I thought it was wonderful to be there and to see our former pastor at Allegheny, David McFarland, walk across the stage as well, and see David Herndon, 30 pounds lighter and looking good, walking across the stage as well. So we have a lot to celebrate. How many know we're alive and we're not in the morgue, we're not at a hospital right now, but we're sitting in church on a Sunday morning in the rain at a disco. Can you believe it? Amen. Yeah, clap your hands for life. Clap your hands for strength. In fact, look at the person next to you and say, it's really good to be with you this morning. You didn't sound too convincing. It's really good to see you and be with you this morning. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so happy to see all of you here. I see you all here. So glad to see you. Just give me a few moments. I want to just talk a few moments and reflect on, I think it's important to reflect on this past year's themes that the UUA gives us. And this past 2022 and 23 themes that were explored were to be helpful and crucial in us birthing what was being hoped for a new normal, something that would be worthy of what we hope for and what we have worked for and what we have hoped to be in our world. And I think it was significant for you to read and to refer to the purpose this morning and refer to love being the foundation of our work. And I don't know if you've gotten it or not, and I'm pretty sure I'm preaching to the choir, but love is the foundation of our work. And love has got to continue to drive what we do, drive what we say, drive how we act, drive how we interact, drive our relationships, drive our homes, drive what we do here at church, drive our work at work, and drive how we see each other and see ourselves when we look at each other in the mirror. Someone say love. Someone say love. Come on, you got to talk back to me. You got to say love, 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 love. So we have an orange guy that's running for presidency that's a criminal. Yeah. And if I was a criminal, I could not be running for election. We have a Supreme Court that has just reversed at the end of Pride Month and just added to the hysteria for me to be able to, if I wanted to get married to the man of my choice, somebody could literally like deny me business. That saddens me. Could you have waited until after Pride Month was over? We continue to see the rights and the privileges of people of color being denied. I was in a heated, short, not argument, but discussion with someone yesterday. And I say short because I refuse to argue with people anymore about stuff that's not worthy of my time to fight with people about. Let me just throw that out there because, you know, we have to learn how to spend our time and learn what to spend our time and our energy on and learn what to, you know, give people because people will take everything you have and not give anything back to you. Before you know it, you will be depleted and your love will be in bed underneath the covers. So I had a short discussion about it, and I had to just shut up and shut down. As much as I wanted to keep going back, I had to learn to shut my mouth and shut it down, because I still have to, as a beautiful black man with no hair that grows on top and that's got colors on and masks from the continent, and as much as I am successful at what I do, I still have to be concerned when I see a police car pull up behind me, because this could be my end, right? So I don't have to argue that anymore, right? Because it's my reality. And when you know what's truth and you know what your mission is, you know that you are driven to love and to be change in the world, you don't have to fight that. You just be love and you just be change in the world. So I'm learning to keep my mouth shut. Come on, say, keep your mouth shut, Derek. Yeah, yeah. But there are times as well that I've got to speak up and say something, because what you are doing is off the chain. And there are times that I have to be loud and be boisterous and be strong and be intentional to say that what you're doing, my friend, my brother, my sister, is not okay. I intentionally wore some colorful tennis shoes and some colorful socks. And I put on a green scarf, and I put on a mask from Molly, and I intentionally drew eyebrows on, because I wanted you to see how beautiful black people are and can be. And sometimes I have a boyfriend, and sometimes I have a girlfriend, and sometimes I have a dog, and sometimes I'm by myself, and sometimes I'm just whatever, but I am fully Derek Tynes all the time. Yes. And I want to encourage you to fully be who you are all the time, because Pittsburgh needs you. Shadyside needs you. The UU needs you. East Liberty needs you. Because when I walk down the street, you can tell that there's a black man walking down the street. But when I see you walking down the street, I don't necessarily know if you're an ally, or if you're one of those Republicans, or if you like me, or if, can I just be real? You can't really tell, who's on the side of the fence, which is why, like what the Supreme Court said about, me being able to deny gay people. How can you tell who's gay? How do I know who you are just because you're standing in my bakery ordering a cake? How do I tell you that unless I'm ordering a cake with two women on it? And it might not even be for me. It might be for my brother. How do I know? And so we have to be intentional to do what we do. And that's why, for me, I want to just call out the themes of this past 22-23 year, because it, for me, has been sermons that I have preached every month to encourage people to do and to be, that helps us to be who we ought to be in a world that doesn't know what is to be. What a riddle that is. But in September, we talked about belonging. And I don't know about you, but I want to belong somewhere. One of the reasons why I love coming over here to First UU is because I feel like I belong here. There are not many places that I can go where I feel like I actually belong, or where I have to fight to be there, or I have to sometimes become self-conscious because I'm in a room that doesn't look like me, and I might be the only, or may be the one of only two other people of color in the room, and it feels like there's a struggle to be in that room. So yes, I'm happy to be here today because I feel like I belong. So I need you to continue to fight for us to belong here. second month of October, we talked about courage, and I love that one because we don't always have courage to do what we know to do. We don't always have courage to do what we feel to do. But when courage shows up, act on it. Hello? You hear me? When you feel strong and when you feel when you feel encouraged, when you feel courage show up, go ahead and hurry up and jump in there. Yeah. Hurry up and jump in there. Hurry up and say what you got to say, because courage doesn't always stay around. Courage. Change was in November. And all of these themes can go so many different ways, but I just want to kind of just give you mine. Change. The only constant that we have in the world is change. The lights are changing all throughout the service. Change is the only thing that's constant in the world. If nothing else, if we don't know anything else, we are not going to be the same as we were last week. Look at your body. You're not the same as you were 5 years ago. I have been trying to get this stomach down for 3 years. It's still there. It's not as big as it was 3 months ago, but I'm constantly changing. Our world is constantly changing. The laws are changing. I don't know what the Supreme Court is going to do next, because they're always changing. They're changing things back to how things were before. Their laws are changing. Our world is changing. Our neighbors are changing. Our relationships are changing. Everything is constantly changing. And because of that, make sure that you allow yourself the space to be different and realize that being different is okay. Change. Put my glasses on because my eyes changed. Wonder was December. And I know I can get real deep with wonder, but I want to drive this perspective of wonder. Realize how powerful change is, and realize that changes are already and always happening, and realize that the world is always moving and doing something, and allow yourself to always have the sparkle of wonder in your eyes. Don't allow yourself to get so bogged down, so depressed, so angry, so frustrated that you can't look at me and wonder how the Creator created somebody so wonderful. Amen. I want us as a people to continue and to always have a sparkle of interest, to be able to look at things and look at people and look at places and have the joy of wonder and expectation and life about the things that we encounter. Amen. Yeah, clap your hands on that. I like it. And then this is really good because you can't have wonder without our next theme, which was January, finding your center. I know when I grew up, I used to hear people talk about, well, they're so self-centered. She's so self-centered, and he is so self-centered, or they are so self-centered. But as I've grown, and I'm only 60, I know I'm beautiful and fabulous at 60, but I'm only 60, and I realize that it's okay to have a center. And it's okay to have myself centered around values that help to cause me to wonder and to be alive and to be fully alive and fully present and fully aware of my world and my work and the people that I love. Find your center and allow it to keep the wonder in your eye. February is love, and of course that was easy. That was kind of easy. But if you need a holiday to love somebody, you're in trouble. If MR and this fabulous man right here only need Valentine's Day to say I love you, then they are in trouble. Because I need to be loved every day. I need some love every week. Come on, somebody. I need to be loved on a regular basis. Right? And so if I just need a month to love, then if I only need a holiday to say Happy Mother's Day, then I'm in trouble. If my sibling day is the only time I call my siblings, we are in trouble. And it makes us, in the month of March, vulnerable to all kinds of other stuff and other things to happen if we're not grounded in love. April is resistance. You know, I really would like to last month, Pat Robertson died. And you know who Pat Robertson was. He was one of those people. And I'm going to be nice. But he wasn't always nice. And some of the things he said wasn't always nice. And so I published it on my Facebook page that he had transitioned. And somebody got very upset with me that I even put that on my page. And I was like, well, I didn't put that on my page to celebrate him. I put that on my page to celebrate that the end of that era of him is over. Yeah. And I did it as an act of resistance because I had to repost it and put this age of, Pat Robertson is over. And I put that on there as an act of resistance because I needed people, and I need people who follow me and who check me out to see that that was not okay with me. And I had to resist. And sometimes we have to resist. And then the month of May is creativity. And so sometimes we have to resist and find creative ways to resist. Sometimes we have to find creative ways not to. I used to be on staff at a church, at a Baptist church, and they did not like the fact that I dressed like I dressed. So I had to find creative ways to be Baptist when I went there, but still be Derek. So I would do things like this. I would wear bold, colorful shoes with a black suit. Or I'd wear a suit and didn't wear a shirt. I wore a t-shirt. Or I didn't wear a shirt at all. I just wore a necklace. Or I wore a suit because they wanted you to wear a suit and no socks. Or I found a way to be me and still be able to serve who I needed to serve without offense. And sometimes we've got to, within structure, find ways to be creative to make things continue to work while we are yet who we are. And that's just one example of creativity. But when you find yourself, and this is what I want to close out creativity with, is that when you find yourself non-creative, go find you some people that love you and that dote on you and that encourage you so you can get your creativity back. Because if your creativity is gone, you are not okay. I'm just letting that sink in because all of us have the ability to create something. We may not all be creative in the same ways, but all of us have the ability to create something. And if you're not creative at all, come see me. Let me love on you. Let me tell you how beautiful you are. Let me tell you how nice your gray hair is. Let me tell you, you're not the same, but let me find something on you that's beautiful or about you that's beautiful. Let me eat some of your cooking and tell you how wonderful those cookies were, MR. Let me find something, because you've got to be creative. That's the only way we can love. That's the only way you can help me belong. That's the only way that you can have moments of courage. That's the only way that you can adjust in changing times. That's the only way you can have a wonder in your eye. That's the only way that you continue to love. That's the only way you can continue to find your center. That's the only way you can be vulnerable but yet strong. That's the only way you can do acts of resistance. And then when you realize how creative you are, it brings delight, which is our last theme in the month of June. And I really want you to understand that you are delightful. Yeah, you can smile. And it's okay. It's okay, because sometimes some of us don't get affirmed enough. Sometimes we don't feel loved enough. Sometimes that hug carries me through the rest of the week. Sometimes you're smiling at me, which is why if I'm walking down the street and you see me, make sure you beep the horn, or make sure you wave, or make sure you walk up or run up to me and run up to me and hug me. Or just run up to me and say, hey, you, because it brings me delight, brings me joy. And what we don't have enough of in this world is love. We don't have enough delight. We don't have enough joy. I'm talking about shared values. I'm talking about coexisting in a world that has everything in it sometimes but what we need in the moment. But if we continue to be in the community and in community together, we will be loved. We will be the greatest UU community the world has seen. We will be the greatest individuals that some people encounter. Some people don't know what love is until they see you. Some people don't know what peace is until you bring it. Some people don't know how good food tastes until you cook it. Some people don't know what a well-dressed man looks like until you show up. Some people don't know how good that music is until she plays it. Wasn't she fantastic? Yeah, you are a fantastic musician. I love your music. I love your hair. I love your shoes. I love your dress. And you have brought such delight to the service today. A fine example of who we are and what we can be in the world. God bless you today, and I pray that heaven keeps smiling at you. In fact, it's always been smiling at you, but you have to look up and see the smile and smile back. Thank you.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us in our closing hymn, hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, love inside us will lead the way.
we extinguish our chalice, please join me in reading the words printed in your bulletin that are read through Unitarian Universalist churches throughout our country. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you. Everything is really working together here. I love that song, Love Will Guide Us, because my closing words is also a hymn. I'm not going to sing it. I guess I could sing it. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. So I don't want to run my race in vain. Hold my hand. Come on, grab someone's hand. While I run this race, hold my hand. While I run this race, hold my hand. While I run this race, so I don't want to run this race in vain. Stand by me. This is my closing words. While I run this, yes, stand by me while I run this race. Stand by me while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Search my heart while I run this. Oh, would you stand with me? While I run this race, oh, search my heart while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. One last time, guide my feet, everybody say, guide my feet while I run this. Oh, guide my feet, oh yeah, while I run this race. Everybody guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in. God bless you. Have a great week. Have a great day today.